These are the only remarks I'm going to make so that I don't monopolize the voices of other people on the panel, but I think they're succinct enough that I won't have anything else to say after I give them. Is that all right for the rest of the panel? Okay? Now this is the parade of useful idiots. The bankrupt liberal class that long ago sold its soul to corporate power is now led by Senator Bernie Sanders. His final capitulation, symbolized by his pathetic motion to suspend the roll call giving Hillary Clinton the Democratic nomination by acclamation, is an abject betrayal of millions of his supporters and his call for a political revolution. Continue to let Sanders be a member of the Democratic caucus. No doubt, the Democrats will continue to agree not to run a serious candidate against him in Vermont. No doubt, Sanders will be given an ample platform and media opportunities to shill for Clinton and the corporate machine. No doubt, he will remain a member of the political establishment. Sanders squandered his most important historical moment. He had a chance, one chance, to take the energy, anger, and momentum and walk out the doors of the Wells Fargo Center and into the streets to help build a third-party movement. His call to delegates to face reality and support Clinton was an insulting repudiation of the reality his supporters, mostly young men and women, had overcome by lifting him from an obscure candidate polling at 12% into a serious contender for the nomination. Sanders not only sold out his base, he mocked it, and this was a spiritual wound, not a political one, and for this he must ask for forgiveness. Now will happen without him. Whatever political revolution happens now will happen without him.
Hey, what did we say about this man?
Sanders, who once lifted up the yearnings of millions, has become an impediment to change. He took his 30 pieces of silver and joined the bankrupt liberal establishment on behalf of a candidate who is a tool of Wall Street, a proponent of endless war, and an enemy of the working class. Sanders, like all of the self-identified liberals who are whoring themselves out for the Democrats, will use fear as the primary reason to remain enslaved by the neoliberal assault. And in return, the public state will allow him and other useful idiots among the 1% to have their careers and construct pathetic monuments to themselves. The Trans-Pacific Partnership will be pushed through whether Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton is president. The fracking industry, fossil fuel industry, and animal agriculture industry will ravage the ecosystem whether Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton is president. The predatory financial institutions on Wall Street will trash the economy and keep the U.S. Treasury move the U.S. Treasury on the way to another economic collapse whether Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton is president. Poor, unarmed people of color will be gunned down in the streets of our cities whether Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton is president. The system of neo-slavery in our prisons where we keep poor men and women of color in cages because we is president, money will replace the vote, whether Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton is president, and half the country, which now lives in poverty, will remain in misery whether Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton is president. And this is not speculation. We know this because there has been total continuity on every issue, from trade agreements to war to mass deportation, between the Bush administration and the administration of Barack Obama. The problem is not Donald Trump. The problem is capitalism. Nothing of substance will change. To reduce the political debate, as Sanders and others are doing to political personalities, is political infantilism. We are undergone a corporate coup d'etat. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton will not reverse this coup. Like Barack Obama, they know where the centers of power lie, and they serve these centers of power. Only when we have the capacity, as many Sanders delegates did, to refuse to cooperate, to say no, to no longer participate in the political charade. Change will come when we commit acts of sustained mass civil disobedience. Change will come when the fear the corporate state uses to paralyze us is used by us to paralyze them. The Russian writer Alexander Harrison, speaking a century ago to a group of anarchists about how to overthrow the Tsar, reminded his listeners that it was not their job to save a dying system, but to replace it. We think we are the doctors, we are the disease. We are not here to reform the system. We are here to overthrow it. Possibility enough to restore our democracy and save our planet. If we fail in this task, if this system of corporate capitalism and globalization is not dismantled, we are doomed. And this is the reality no one wants to speak about. We will have to be in the political wilderness perhaps for a decade, but a decade ago, Syriza, the party now ruling Greece, was polling at 4%, which is what the Green Party is polling at today. We will not bring about systemic change in 1 or 2 election cycles, but we can begin to build counterweight to the corporate state. We can begin to push back. We must find the courage not to be afraid. We must find the courage to follow our conscience. We must find the courage to defy the corporate forces of death in order to affirm the forces of life.